Hello, everyone. Jessica Peterson here with Purpose Powered People. Grateful and honored to have the most amazing, beautiful inside and outside person, Ivory May. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Well, and I have to apologize to everyone due to technical glitches. We're unable to see your face, but I'm just happy you're here, and we're going to have so much fun and talking about purpose and all the good you're doing in this world. Does that sound good, Ivory?
Thank you. That sounds perfect. And if you want to see my face, you can definitely go to my website, ivorymay.com, or even just log in on Instagram or anything else. I'm Ivory May all across the board. So you can definitely, there is no lack of me on the internet, pictures of me. So please feel free.
Awesome. Awesome. That's so great. I know it's always so much fun to meet other people in the famous modeling world. And I say your name. Oh, yeah, we know. So I have a question I'm dying to know. Do you prefer Ivory or Ivory May?
Oh gosh, well that's a good question. My full name is actually Ivory May Calver, and so I go by my first and middle name. It was just kind of easier to go with that, and because it goes along with my website and, like I said, all of my social media names. So I prefer just Ivory because that's my first name that I've always gone by. But I think it's kind of fun when people call me Ivory May. It sounds, I don't know, it's good. It's either way.
Okay. Yeah, it has such a good ring to it. But yeah, I know you as Ivory. So, well, fabulous, Ivory. So why don't you tell us, I know that you're a very well-known model. So why don't we start off by saying, what are some big names, small names, anything you want to share that you've modeled for?
Absolutely. I have been modeling for 15 years, and in that time, I could swear to you that I have done every national name that you've heard of. So I've done Target, JCPenney's, Walmart, Kmart, Sears, you know, the plus size names like Lane Bryant and CJ Banks. And then I've traveled internationally and I did Marks and Spencer, and I've done Ulla Popkin in Germany. And so, you know, I've really kind of run the gamut. I've done just my size and Playtex, and I've done pretty much all there was to do. And I'm really happy that I did, because in the beginning of my career, I could have never imagined that I went this far, but I always kind of hoped and dreamed that I would. So it's great to look back and say, wow, I really did it.
Awesome. I love it. And what an inspiration you are. So was this a dream you always had since you were little, or how did this all evolve?
It actually was. I grew up in Hawaii, and I didn't really look like all the girls around me, but I always was interested in the models in the magazines. I wasn't overly like freaking out obsessed about them, which I think is good and healthy, but I guess I just, maybe like any other girl, would look through magazines and say, I wonder if I could do that, or I would like to do that. I definitely had the interest. And then when I was 9 or 10 or something, I was visiting my grandparents in Chicago, and they had a neighbor that had an agency, and she was very interested in me. And unfortunately, no one was available to take the train or something to the city. I'm not exactly sure what happened. So it didn't happen then, but I did take modeling school or modeling classes in Hawaii and did a few little things there. And then at one point, I believe I was 13 or 14, and some agents from the mainland, probably from LA, came to visit to see if they might find any talent on the Big Island where I lived. And they came and had a meeting with us, and I remember the night so clearly. I dressed up and did the whole deal, and I got there, and they said I would need to lose weight. And I was 13 years old, and really had no interest in losing weight or changing myself in any way to fit into some, you know, cookie cutter box that they had planned for me. So luckily I did not take the bait. I didn't go down that road. I will say later on, I did learn to diet, and I went down a, you know, kind of a dangerous road with food, but we can get into that later. But it wasn't in a direct relation to wanting to model. So I'm kind of happy about that. But it was a dream, I have to say. And luckily I got through high school and then college, and it was always kind of back burner for me. I tried a couple of times to enter modeling contests, and I was never realized, or I never won. I was never awarded or rewarded by those. So I guess I just kind of didn't think I had it for some reason. And then it happened a few years later when I had moved to LA, and I had become a nanny. And then I stopped nannying and really wanted to follow this dream of modeling, because at that point, plus size modeling had gotten bigger. And sorry, I feel like I'm rambling, but I did get into it in my early 20s. So it was a dream, and I was so happy to do it, and I was so happy that plus size modeling existed, because I got to kind of mimic my first experience with the modeling agency, and realize that I don't have to change my body or my eating or my anything, and I can be a model, and that was revelatory for me.
So if you don't mind sharing, you mentioned, that there was some rejection, and I always admire people that, what was it, Michael Jordan, or got rejected. I mean, people kept going, pursuing the dream. So how did it finally come into fruition for you?
Well, of course, I've dealt with rejection for a very long time, and I'm not exactly sure how I have the ability to do that and to not let it get me down. I don't know what exactly that is in people, but I guess it's just drive, or just putting one foot in front of the other. Or in my case, later on, I developed a kind of a mantra that a yes is the same answer as a no. The universe has no idea, that it's bad or good. And I just kind of move forward no matter what the answer is. Sure, I want a yes, and I am happy when I get a yes, but essentially it's the same answer as a no. So you don't need to beat yourself up and get down on yourself if you get a no. There will be another yes coming, So when early on getting the rejection, again, I just kind of let it roll off. And then I even got rejection from those modeling contests that I did, and also from agencies. I walked myself into an agency in Beverly Hills at one point early on, and they had no idea what plus size modeling was. So as much of that as that wasn't a direct rejection to me, it was kind of a strange glitch in the industry, where it was like, wait, what? They don't even know what this is. Maybe this doesn't even exist, or what should I do about this? And I can just say that I got serious about it, I guess. I went and got some pictures taken, which cost me money, of course. And so, but I was willing to dive in and make it. I knew it was something I wanted to do. So I was willing to give it my all. And I think that's when things happened for me. I got pictures taken, and I sent them out to different agencies, and I got picked up by a small agency in Orange County first. And then I switched over to Ford about 9 months later, so Ford Models in Los Angeles, and I've been with them ever since. They've now closed their Plus division just in the last year, but I'm still with them in other cities. So
why did they close their Plus division?
Oh gosh, that's a whole other weird part of the industry. Many of the agencies have closed their Plus division. It's very strange, because it's been common knowledge that plus size models bring in a majority of the work / the money that these agencies earn. And so we don't really know. There have been a few different theories and ideas about why they've done it. And it's really strange. But luckily there are still enough agencies that do represent us that we obviously are not hurting by any means.
Okay, awesome. Well, at least that's good news. Is there anything you mentioned a little bit you want to cover a little bit later? Anything you want to say about eating? You said something about eating and dieting.
Sure, absolutely. I do, not suffer, I don't know the right word, but I do have binge eating disorder, or I am an overeater of sorts, and I've dealt with that in my past. It came up right around the time I actually started modeling. I really realized that I wasn't doing so well with food. So I got myself help, and I recommend that for anyone that's struggling. I never have been anorexic or bulimic, but I find that they're all very related, and it's all kind of at the core of the same, disease, if you want to call it that. And I just, I always like to touch upon that. I don't like to dwell on it, but it was something that I, dealt with, and I still deal with on a daily basis. Obviously, we all need to eat 3 times a day or so, and it's not easy, but I found a peace with food, and really this industry was so helpful in teaching me and showing me how to love my body, working around other women that are like me, and in an industry that embraces exactly who we are and doesn't make us change, has been so instrumental in my self-esteem and body image, and ultimately my mental health. So it's just been an awesome experience, and for that I've been so grateful to be able to do what I've done, and also help others in the same position I was in.
Okay, so that leads into my next question. Are there any nonprofits you serve or partake in, or causes you're very active in?
And you know what's funny is I am active in the body awareness disorders, all of those things. I've never really taken a front row seat in them, but I'd be happy to. But the way I've actually given back and been involved is actually with pets, with dogs. I'm a big animal activist, and I've done more on that side. So, you know, we only have so many hours in the day, and as much as I'd love to give my time to all of the organizations, that's where I've focused so far. And maybe one of these days I'll do a little bit more in the eating disorders awareness, but that's what I've done so far.
Wow. You know, just real brief, I have a friend, he's a psychotherapist, and he just developed some program. It's really fascinating out at the university where women who are in abusive relationships, it's not easy for them to leave, but they've actually had them come take care of animals in shelters. And I don't know, there's this whole, that's a whole other long story, but there's this whole process as how it's helping women by helping animals to leave their horrible situation. So anyhow,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. You know, it helps with every aspect. So even though I'm not directly helping in my eating disorder realm by having an animal or helping with other animals, it's done the same thing for me. So I actually totally get it.
That's awesome. You never know. Maybe I should connect you with him and you guys can have one for the eating disorder. I think there's so many correlations. I love animals. I'm allergic to them, so I'm always sniffling and asthma and crazy.
Oh, terrible. I do not envy you. That's the one thing that would be like the worst for me because I love them and I just would never, I would hate that, but I feel for you.
Yeah, it's pretty hard because I love them too and they're just so cute. So so anyhow, with that being said, what did you love to do as a child, Ivory?
You know, it's the same as I love to do today. I am a huge gamer. I love to play games. I love to after school, my brother and my best friend and I would play different board games or different kind of interactive video games or things like that. I loved to be active as well, but not quite as much as I just loved to have that interaction with games. And I felt that it brought, you know, and with family too, it just brings family together and you end up having laughs and you end up learning things about people that you wouldn't know without doing a certain game. It's really, they're fun to me. So I think that was kind of my biggest thing.
That's awesome. Isn't there like a show for game night? Someone was telling me Celebrity Game Night or something.
Yes, I watch it, of course. I have it DVR'd, and it's pretty funny and fun, definitely. And I do, like I said, it's just so much more funny than some other type of game show, just because it involves games. And it's just funny sometimes to see people's different ideas of things or thoughts, and you end up like, what? You thought that was that? And it's just so funny.
Oh yeah, especially the couple games that you look at your spouse. Oh, really?
Exactly.
You learn so much. That's so cool. So are you going to invent a game? Or I always love to learn people's childhood passions because it relates to them today. Are you going to get into some sort of gaming world or create a game or do anything?
Oh gosh, you never know. I've always fancied myself some type of game show host or obviously hostess. You know, maybe that'll find me at some point, and maybe it'll involve pets too, or I don't know. I would love to. Yes, I used to be a little committee that tested new games, and that was really fun. So that was a way that I included it in my adult life. And I'm just always up for games. I travel around with Trivial Pursuit and Pictionary cards in my purse, and there's that new catchphrase game that I keep in my purse, and who knows who wants to play at any given moment. Maybe even just a guy in line behind you at the airport or something.
That is so cool. That's so cool. I haven't checked it out, but I saw a category in Blab. It's all about gaming. Maybe you can start a Blab game channel. Animals.
Okay. Cute. Yeah. I love all of your ideas.
I could totally see you doing that. So I haven't checked that out, the gaming part, but I could see you checking it out. You can always start. I mean, it's free to start in Blab and start your own game and have a huge following. I think that'd be super fun with the animals too.
That would be. Yeah, I'll think of it.
So I know your mother. She's just so sweet. So anyone who's listening or watching, that's how I met Ivory, was through her mom. I was at a big fundraiser for a nonprofit, and I happened to sit next to her mom, just hit it off with her, such a gem. So do you mind telling us a little bit about your family and what you love and appreciate about them?
Sure. Gosh, you might make me get emotional. My mom and my brother live in Denver, and I'm close with my family. My parents divorced when I was 17, but they're both happily in different relationships now. And my brother and I are about as close as you can get. We're like best friends. And then mentioned I was raised in Hawaii on the Big Island, and that's where my dad and stepmom still are. And my dad is battling a little of his old cancer is back from 22 years ago, so it's a little bit sad right at the moment, but he's going to be okay. And that's why in my life right now I'm kind of focusing a little bit more on family than I am on career or extracurriculars, just because, you know, sometimes these things come up and you realize really what's important, right?
Oh yeah, like, oh, you have no idea. I just lost my father-in-law, so to cancer, so I totally get it.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
tough. It really, it really hits you hard. And I think we're going to be fine. It hasn't metastasized, and he's coming to the mainland actually day after tomorrow to look for some good treatment options and get things started. And I think it's all going to be good. So I'm not saying any of this for, you know, sympathy or you know, to draw attention to myself, but just to kind of get it out there, and we're all kind of in the same boat together, and to show that I'm human, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I fully believe in the power of thoughts and, you know, energy and vibes and all that. So we'll all be sending tons of good, you know, vibes and love and energy for you and your family. And I'm happy that you're there for them.
Thank you.
I'm really happy
Yeah,
you're
for sure. And yeah, we're just kind of a fun crowd. We're all really close, even towards all the way down to cousins and other things. We get together at Thanksgiving, and then I'll go out to Hawaii a couple of times a year. And we're you know, like I said, I'm a gamer, and it kind of goes without saying that I come from a family of gamers, so that's where I get that interest as well. My grandma still goes to the boats at 91 years old and does her slot machines, and we all just love to have fun and love to laugh and be involved, you know, on that level and with each other's lives, and you know, have, like I said, playing games is just such a pastime, because no matter if you're playing cards or a board game, you end up having this fun conversations and laughs, and it's just such a great time. So that's the kind of family we are.
awesome. I love it. So we only have 2 minutes left. So really quick, Ivory, anybody who wants to get into modeling, what would you say to them?
Well, I have a link, a little quick area on my website, ivorymay.com. That's Ivory like the soap, May like the month.com. And they can click on there and write me personally. I'm happy to help. I also would say, if you have no idea where to start, the best place to start is on the internet, and you look for modeling agencies in your area. Look at their websites, or at the last resort, give them a call and ask how they take submissions. Many of them take models without any experience, with no pictures. You just go to an open call, and if you have what it takes, they will take you. And that's the best thing you can do. There's no need to go out and spend a bunch of money on pictures or other things before you go and visit these agencies, because they might tell you what to do, and the pictures you take might be worthless. So that's what I would say to anyone looking to get started. I also have boot camps in the Los Angeles area for aspiring models and normal people that want to learn about modeling. There are weekend workshops on either a Saturday or Sunday in the Los Angeles area. You can find that also on my website. And that's what I would say. And no matter what, believe in yourself and realize that modeling is a career. It's not just something to be fun and to make you feel good about yourself, but that can come in other ways in your life. You know, it doesn't, just because you don't get to be a model doesn't mean you're not worthwhile or worth it.
Very well said. I love it. And thank you for all the good that you do in this world, and connecting people and serving them with courses. And I love that you said love yourself and have fun. So thank you, Ivory. I can't wait to keep staying in touch with you, okay?
Thank you so much, Jessica. You're awesome. Have a great afternoon, evening, wherever you are.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ivory.